I record a video, and it's day two of doing it scared is what I'm calling it. And I'm like, all right, record this video. I'm just gonna get it over with this morning, so I don't have to think about it for the rest of the day. And it gives me a lot of anxiety, which is funny. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, just get it out of the way. I'm really not gonna try to be perfect. I literally got out of bed, made a cup of coffee, and recorded the video. 8 minutes later, I posted it. And then the sound the sound doesn't work. And I couldn't help, like, at first it was like, oh no, the sound didn't work, but I couldn't help but laugh about it, because it's just like, this is what the universe does. This is what God does. He challenges you a little bit. It's like, all right, you're saying you're doing this thing. Let's see how much you care. Let's see how imperfect it can be, and let's see if you can keep going after this little setback. And what was really great is I literally just talked about, it was a pretty good one. I had some structure to it. It was a good video. Decent video, I should say. And I was talking about focusing on the wins and not beating yourself up for mistakes, etc., etc. So it was too perfect. It was too perfect that the sound didn't work, because I had to put into practice right away, literally right away, what I had just talked about, which was focusing on the wins. And I I'll talk about it again, but I got this concept, lots of people talk about it, but it was really solidified for me through a book called Burn the Boats by Matt Higgins. And when I was reading through this book, I really noticed that Matt Higgins did such a great job at focusing on the small wins every single day, and really compounded the importance of that in my mind. So that book was really life-changing for me in a lot of ways, because it forced me to rethink my days. I used to get up, and if I woke up 5 minutes late, I would beat myself up all day long. It would just be, oh, I can't believe it. Now I'm falling behind, blah, 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 blah. And it's like this negative spiral that just happened. And after reading that book, what I started to do was focus on the win. So it was like, oh, I woke up. Not focusing on, oh, I woke up 5 minutes late, but it's like, oh, I woke up today. I am alive and I woke up. Isn't that great? And then it was like, check, I woke up. And I would start to basically at the end of each day write down all the small wins. So it could be, I woke up, I made a cup of coffee, I drank a cup of coffee, I enjoyed sunshine, I got outside, I got some emails out, like whatever it was, the smallest thing. And what that was able to do for me was really help me focus more on the positive. I kind of naturally, and I think a lot of us do naturally, focus on the negative a lot of days. Like, it's like, oh, you woke up 5 minutes late, and then you get beating yourself up for waking up 5 minutes late. And then because you're beating yourself up for that, you miss something else, or something else. You show up kind of with this negative energy to everything. So instead of beating myself up, and there's still days that I struggle and I beat myself up, but instead of doing that, what I try to do is focus on the wins and focus what I am grateful for. And usually that looks like starting my day with a little bit of gratitude. And that could be just, oh, I'm thankful I woke up today. I'm thankful for the sunshine or the rain or the clouds, or I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that I have a bed to sleep in. And I just go through just a list of things, and I just do this verbally or in my head, but I don't necessarily write it down. And then at the end of the day, I always go through and focus on the wins. And the wins they don't always have to do with business. They don't always have to do, like, they're just like the small things, like, oh, you know what, I showed up for my son today when he was upset, and I sat there in presence with him. And, or, again, I got out of bed, or I drank a lot of water today, or I chose not to eat that unhealthy thing, or I went out for a walk, whatever. There's the smallest things. And what that does for you over time is it compounds yourself into a more positive mindset. And by focusing on those really small things, you can start to focus on bigger things. Like, it starts to expand your awareness of more positive things in your life. So I just wanted to come on here today and encourage you to focus on the wins. Focus on the small things, especially if you're someone who struggles with anxiety, if you struggle with depression, if you struggle with any of these things. The best place to start, a lot of people say start with gratitude, but I think it's like even more so, I think it's focus on the wins first. If you're struggling with depression, sometimes it can be hard to get out of bed. So if you got out of bed, focus on that. You don't have to be grateful for it, because I understand depression. Sometimes I've struggled with depression deeply throughout my life. And it's like, I understand sometimes it's like you just don't feel the gratitude for it. But you can focus that it's like, wow, I got out of bed. I got a shower today. I drink water. Whatever it is, this is the smallest thing. And over time, the more you do that, the more you kind of put those reps in to focus on those wins, the better you will feel. The more positive you'll show up. The more positively you'll show up in life. So I could have let this no sound thing, and in the past me would have let this no sound thing on this video derail my entire day. I could have been like, holy smokes, I don't have the time to re-record. I'm trying to commit to this thing of doing it scared, and now it messed up, and that's God telling me I shouldn't do it. But no, I actually look at it as the opposite now. It's God telling me to do it. It's God saying, yes, you're supposed to do this thing. And you're going to come up to obstacles, because that's just how life is. We have struggles. And if you don't have struggles, your life is boring. So I needed, for some reason, for the sound not to work. And even though I kind of liked that video, the sound didn't work. And I'm hoping that the sound worked on this one. I checked it and everything else, but it would be really funny if the sound didn't work on this one. And maybe I'll post it without the sound anyway. But yeah, so my encouragement to you is focus on the wins. And maybe if you're really struggling, if you're really feeling yourself really down, or you're beating yourself up a lot, at the end of each day, just write down what you did right. And it doesn't have to be that much. It doesn't have to be that big, but it's like, I made a cup of coffee for myself. I was kind to a stranger. I smiled at them when I walked by. Whatever that is, just like focusing on those wins. And when you focus on those things, it actually just really helps you focus on those things more. So then you become almost a little competitive with yourself, and then you want to have more things that you can focus on, have more wins throughout your day. And it feels good, because it's like, oh, I want to treat a stranger kind, so I can write that down at the end of the day. Oh, I want to show up for my son or my daughter, so I can write that down at the end of the day. Oh, I want to wake up early, so I can write that down at the end of the day. And what you're doing is you're just encouraging yourself. You're getting behind yourself, and you're saying, I believe in you and I trust in you. And you need that. You need to trust yourself. And I think that starting with, instead of gratitude, just start with focusing on the wins. And the gratitude comes. Because then when you have a certain amount of wins, the next day, if you're unsure of what to be grateful for, you can be like, you know, I'm grateful that I focused on the wins. I'm grateful that yesterday I got out of bed. I'm grateful that I got out of bed today. I'm grateful that I was able to walk outside. I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs. I'm grateful for these hands. I'm grateful for my eyes. I'm grateful that I can be able to do this thing. And it's like you start with focusing on the wins, and eventually it gets to gratitude. So my encouragement for you today is focus on the wins and do it scared. I'm so terrified to post these things for whatever reason, all the anxiety and all the fears, but I know I need to do it, so I'm doing it. Day 2 of doing it scared. And I want to encourage you to do it scared too. And there's going to be mess ups, and there's going to be obstacles, because we're human, and that's how the world works. That's how the universe works. But it's all for your good. It's all for your good. Maybe this video is 10 times better than the other video. I don't know. But I do know that I'm committing to showing up daily and doing it scared. So here it is. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I appreciate you. I love you. And I know that you, where am I? I don't even know where my lens is. That you can do it. So much gratitude.